Okay, so here's what I'm going to say because I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it. I forget that we're not live. I was like, everybody's watching. Nobody's watching. So here's what I'm going to do for people who are watching the podcast and don't want it spoiled. We're going to start talking about it, generally speaking. We're not going to spoil. When we get into spoiler territory, I'm going to take off my hat. You should take off your hat, too.
Okay.
So if my hat is off, you know we're in spoiler territory. When I put my hat back on, it's going to be safe for you to listen again. So let's start from the top. Hat is on, no spoilers. Now, generally speaking, the hype around this movie, Endgame, has been off the chain insanity. Now, obviously, I did enjoy the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the ending was fantastic. It was such a great...
Talking about Infinity War.
Yeah,
right?
Infinity War was
Infinity
great.
War.
The ending was so great because it's just so impactful,
Dark.
so dark, so unexpected. But I
It's
immediately...
unusual for these Marvel
Yeah.
movies, completely unique to that one. I don't think any of them ended dark like that. They always find a way to
Right.
for the good guys to win in some way.
That's right. And so I loved that ending. But I also knew simultaneously it's going to be super hard to follow this up because
Right.
how are they not going to give us
Because
the heroes are going to figure this one out and
what
bring everyone back?
what outcome would satisfy you or surprise you? Like, what is there? It's either another dark ending, but that's too
There's no
dark,
way.
or a good one.
Yeah, I figured there's no way it's going to be another dark ending. So the hype was insane. The early reviews came out, and it was like 97% on Rotten Tomato, at like a 9.3 on IMDb. It's currently rated, I think, like number 10 of all time on IMDb. Let me double check that. IMDb Endgame. Let's see. Currently on IMDb, Avengers Endgame has a 9.2. It is rated, what? Number 5 of all time. So actually, it's breaking into the top ranks of shit that has not been budged in a long time. Avengers Endgame, number 5 of all time. That's incredible. So I was really hyped to see this. In fact, I didn't buy the tickets till last night because I know I wanted to talk about it today. And I guess AMC's been adding shows like crazy because it's just such a gold rush.
Mm-hmm.
I heard people were selling tickets for like thousands of dollars to the early screening, but I got super lucky because last night I checked. They must have just added. The theater was totally empty. I got perfect seats right in the center, middle, aisle. And I checked 5 minutes later and it was completely sold out.
Mm-hmm.
So we got really lucky. We had really good seats. Saw it last night at 7:30. One of the first people to see it, really. And was very excited to see it. Now, this is a long movie. 3 hours long.
Yeah. No breaks. What happened to giving us breaks?
Dude, if you're gonna make a 3-hour movie, you know what it is? I think the theaters just want that cuts into their profit, right?
Oh.
It's like you have 3 intermissions. It's like, come on, let's
Gives
another
you an
show.
option to go buy something though, a drink, popcorn.
Good point.
I feel like people are already buying shit. But if you show intermissions all day, that's like a whole screening that you're gonna lose.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I can assume because 3 hours is a long time to hold it. Now, to tell you the truth, I'm not buying. I want to be slurping down soda pops, but I don't drink anything because I'm like, I don't want to get up and pee.
Yeah.
If I had an intermission, I'd be soda pop all day. Bye.
I was thinking about a refill on popcorn about halfway through the movie, but
Yeah,
impossible.
there you have it. Sorry, Critter, I disturbed him. So I have to say, 3 hours without intermission is pretty annoying, but that's the norm. I don't know how to talk about this without spoiling it.
Really not
Right,
much else
yeah.
to say. Yeah.
Let me think if there's anything else I can say without spoiling it. I can give my overall impressions, but again, I don't know that if I was watching that, I would consider it a spoiler. If you're like, oh,
true.
well, this is so, I'm going to take off my hat.
How about just a number rank?
Right. So overall,
Like out of 10.
I would say, in my opinion, the movie is not as good as everybody is saying it is. I've seen people losing their minds, literally losing their minds. I've seen people saying, you'll remember where you were. You'll be telling your grandchildren where you were when this movie came out. I don't think it's that good. I really don't.
I already forgot where I was.
It was a good movie. It was solid. The writing was great. It was satisfying. I was happy that I saw it. And I mean, me and Eli are super critical about movies we see. It had some of the pitfalls, I would say, of normal Marvel movies. I personally don't necessarily think that the comedy is always working in these films, to put it mildly. Sometimes it's hard not to roll your eyes at some of these supposed comedic scenes. But I'm the only one because the theater's
90% of the time.
The theater loves it though, so I don't know. People are like,
I know.
People love it, so I don't know. For me, but overall, I would give this movie a B. I thought it was very good. It was very ambitious. It was well done. It wasn't. I wasn't disappointed.
Too abstract. I don't know where does that go.
It's a B.
And what else?
8 out of 10. It's an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
It's an 8 out of 10.
10 is the best.
Yeah. 10 is like what's a 10 even? The Matrix 1 is a 10.
Pulp Fiction.
That's decent.
All the classics.
As far as action movies go, yeah, 10 is a perfect film. You know. What about you?
I would give it 6.5.
That's pretty good for you. You let them fuck around. You could have given it a 1, so 6.5 is pretty good for you.
Yeah.
So, but
I didn't hate it.
I'll say this: if you're a fan of the Marvel series and you followed all these movies and all these characters, you are going to love this.
We're not fans of this.
Yes. So trust me when I say that you will not be disappointed. You are going to absolutely love this film. And even if you're not a fan of Marvel and you're not invested, more like me, I like the first part. I'm here for the ride to finish the story. You're still going to enjoy the film. It's fun. It's bold. It's daring. I think everyone will enjoy watching this film. With that being said, let's take our hats off and let's get into spoiler territory. Okay.
I'm scared.
Now, what I want to say about the ending of this film is that it was fairly predictable. I mean, nobody should be surprised by how this film ended. I felt like almost certain that main characters were going to die. We all knew that. And I feel like we all knew that Ant-Man was going to go into the quantum realm. And that's how they were going to go back in time. Iron Man dying, I was like, yeah. So I felt like that was just super obvious.
Yeah, it was a given. Especially, Robert Downey Jr. has been saying he wants, like, he's pretty over.
He was looking old. I mean, he was looking old in that.
Sure.
But
yeah.
Now, but I'm not saying it wasn't like successfully. Everyone knew he was going to die. I think the way that they killed him was good. Was good.
It was fitting.
It was fitting. It was nice. It was satisfying. I also like the way that they kind of phased out Captain Marvel's character too. I thought that was cool. I always thought they were setting us up for like a whole new series where he goes and tries to return the stones. But I thought it was
you mean Captain America?
Captain America, sorry. I thought it was very satisfying how he missed his thing and then he's on the bench.
Yeah, that was cool.
I thought that was very cool. I liked that.
But let's start from the beginning. I felt like the whole hour and a half.
First 2 hours.
First 2 hours was so boring. Like, so slow and unnecessary. And so many jokes per minute. Like, calm down with the jokes. They're not that funny.
The whole first hour, I want to say, hour and a half, was even 2 hours, was so it was so unnecessarily long. Like you were saying, it's like, oh my God, it was so boring. It was
so are you saying like everything up to the point where they go on the mission, like where they start going back?
The first moment where I was like engaged with the film was when like Captain America fought himself.
Right.
Right, which was
I was like, that was
started
fun.
to get interesting.
Yeah, I was like, that's cool. I enjoyed that. But yeah, the whole aspect. The thing is, I love character development, but I feel like this wasn't good character development.
Yeah.
It wasn't good storytelling. It was just they were just covering their bases, and the comedy. And you have to agree, the comedy is just so corny, right?
I mean, what did you guys think? Dan and Ian, you guys saw it.
Well, I mean, I would say I'm a bigger Marvel fan than it sounds like you guys are, but not. But I'm not. I didn't grow up with comics. I'm not like super attached to any of these characters, really. I'd say I'm about middle tier when it comes to dedication of this. And yeah, I mean, I agree with your overall assessment. I would rate it like an 8 as well. I mean, I would have to see it again. I think I liked the last one better, honestly.
Me
Oh,
too.
the- oh,
I definitely like the
the
last
first one was
better.
indisputably better.
Yeah.
And I knew when that movie ended that there was no way the second one was going to be able to top it because
Yeah.
the ending was so satisfying and it was just so abrupt and it was so powerful. And I knew that the second one was going to have a happy ending. So I felt like the second one, there was no way that it was going to be able
Yeah.
to top it. Now, people like it more because I just think that people are so invested in these characters and Captain, and they were so emotional about all these characters dying off and
people were
leaving. And
crying at
by the
yeah.
way, so let's talk about the characters that died first of all. Scarlett Johansson's character, I don't even know what the point. Her character has never done anything in all of the Marvel movies. Same with Hawkeye. That's one scene. They could have both jumped off for all I care, but they sacrificed the least interesting character in the whole series, and so that didn't have any impact on me at
I think
all.
Hawkeye's less interesting than her.
I thought they were going to kill Hawkeye, but
Yeah.
they could have
Yeah.
both jumped off. Both characters are stupid. The dude's running around with a bow and arrow. Like there's a scene where he's fighting demons with a bow and arrow, and I'm so sick of this character. You're fighting next to Thor, God of Thunder, and you're shooting a bow and arrow. Dude doesn't even use a gun. Like at least get a rifle or something. This guy sucks. He's the worst hero. Sorry.
I do want to say that the whole ending part was pretty cool and epic. How they went for it and like everyone was there.
Yes.
Everyone. That
Yes.
was pretty cool.
I agree.
It was
One of the
fun.
strongest part.
No, it paid
It
off.
was really
big time.
fun. It was
I
like
thought
a,
it was
a
it was
fun
so
watch.
It was so satisfying because in the beginning of the film, they find Thor or they find Thanos and they kill him. I thought that was kind of cool.
I like
Right.
Yeah,
I
they
like
did
that too.
They really
I just didn't like all the filler. Like, why make it 3 hours?
Well, they start strong.
Unnecessary.
They go and they kill Thanos, and I was like, wow, crazy. And actually, I was disappointed because, like, man, I really like Thanos as a character. But then they find a way to bring him back.
Yeah.
And it's very satisfying because you get to see the whole armies battling it out. Thanos comes, and he brings his whole army. And I thought I love Thanos fight scenes. He's just such a badass. I love watching him fight. Anyone.
He's like so impossibly strong.
Yeah, he's like the ultimate. What's his backstory? He's like the ultimate warlord. Dan, tell me this. I had this uncanny. The end of that movie was identical to the end of One Punch Man season 1. You got the spaceship over Earth, the armies. The spaceship was shooting shit down out the armies below. Okay, then Captain Marvel shows up and destroys the ship in one hit. You've got Thanos. It's like, isn't it so uncanny? It was like,
That's
bro,
interesting. Yeah,
It definitely reminded me of that too when you said that.
It's like it was uncanny. It was crazy.
See, this is where our unfamiliarity with the comics may hurt us, though, because I don't know. I mean, One Punch Man may have been paying homage to this. You know
I'm
what
not
I mean?
accusing them of stealing. I
Right,
just
right.
think
No, I
that
get
it's-
it. But you're right. It's a very similar kind of scenario.
It was freaking uncanny. And anyway, the ending, the battle scene was fantastic. It was super satisfying. Doctor Strange shows up and portals everyone in, and Tony Stark, and then he looks at him and he goes, one chance, baby. It was great. Now,
Yeah.
go ahead, Hila.
I didn't like in the beginning how Ant-Man.
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay. How Ant-Man is just like, I figured it out, time travel. And everyone is like, no way, you gotta be kidding. And then Tony Stark, over one night, figures it out.
Well,
And
See, they put the emphasis in the wrong places. They spent 2 hours on these dumb-ass, stupid jokes. Like, how much time did they spend at Fat Thor's cabin?
No.
Or, like,
Yeah.
there was another one. There was a huge, long aside before Thor with another character. I don't remember. But, like, so then you spend all this time in Fat Thor's cabin trying to make cheap laughs. And then meanwhile...
Hulk being like a celebrity.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then meanwhile, you have Captain Marvel literally just showing up. She's just this convenient plot point. She shows up. Tony Stark's in the middle of space, stranded. Captain Marvel's like, "Hey, it's me. Okay, we're back. Bye." It's like, oh, that was easy to resolve,
I think they set it up at the end of Captain Marvel's movie, which is again like why it's a strength and a weakness of these movies. You have to kind of like know all of them, especially for this since it's the conclusion. There's like a post-credit scene at the end of Captain Marvel where she shows up, so I think it's implied they sent her to go find Iron Man. But that's not in the movie. You have to have watched another movie.
That's even a post-credit, though. Like, that's not
Yeah,
even
it wasn't even in the movie. It
development.
was just a post-credit scene.
I feel like that could have used development because she just shows up and she brings him back.
Yeah.
And then he's back. And that's it. It's like, because they set up this whole epic thing like Tony Stark is lost in space. It's like everything's fucked. Nope. Kevin Marker just showed up and saved him real quick and she's gone by. I was like, okay.
And then she bounces again.
And then she bounces. And then she shows up conveniently at the end of the film.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I'm going to fight Thanos real quick and I'm going to blow up the ship. Okay, bye. I'm gone again. It's like, oh, okay, whatever.
What's the problem with characters like that? Is she's got the same problem as Superman, where they're just too strong, and so they have to figure out a way to like get her out of the way because then she could just fix everything.
Superman by himself is a great character because his vulnerabilities are not his strength.
Right.
It's his weaknesses are his personal relationships and his and that he wants to save all of humanity, right? But Captain Marvel was never developed in any interesting way as far as I can tell. Her character's pretty dumb. And she's like, well, there's a lot of other planets that need saving. It's like, hello? Thanos is going to kill half the people in the universe. How is anything else more important than that, Captain Marvel? You're worthless. Oh, well, there's other planets that need saving. We're talking about the whole universe here. Okay, whatever. So she doesn't exist in the film. And then Ant-Man's like, guys. He shows up. Guys. He doesn't know science or anything. He's just like, has anyone considered time travel? And then they're like,
and then there's like a million jokes about Back in the Future.
Yeah. Oh, guys, it's not like other... Whatever. We spent a half hour joking about Back to the Future. But isn't it kind of stupid? He's not a scientist. He doesn't provide technology or anything because they rebuild it, as far as I can tell. He's just like, I just got out of the quantum realm. Has anybody considered that we can build a time machine? Oh, it's been 5 years. And all of a sudden, Ant-Man just with the brilliant, we should build a time machine. Oh, okay. Pretty much that's how that plot point went. Like, I've considered that plot point more interesting. The Captain Marvel saving Iron Man plot point more interesting. Iron Man developing the time machine. He just solved that in a day. And then meanwhile, we've got these super boring, dumb, unfunny scenes that run forever.
Yeah.
So that was my
You didn't
biggest...
like Thor dabbing? You didn't think that was really funny?
Thor dabbing, Thor fat, Thor drunk.
Fortnite.
Oh my God, Fortnite was actually in the movie.
Yeah. I cringed. That was rough.
I have
Like,
notes
come on.
here. I was taking notes.
The whole Thor looking like Big Lebowski is kind of like...
I totally agree. I mean...
They even made it explicit. If they shouldn't have made it explicit. They call him Lebowski at one point.
Yeah.
It was like, come on, we got it.
Yeah.
They're like, wink, 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 hint shot.
If they hadn't pointed it out, I might have been okay with.
There's one scene I hate, by the way. He goes, Thor's brooding. He's so upset. Captain Marvel shows up, and she's just such a badass. And he calls his hammer, and it zips right past her head. And then he goes...
And she doesn't flinch.
She doesn't flinch. And he goes, I like this woman. And then she does this, which is the one thing I hate in all movies when they go. They go from serious to slightly smiling. It's the worst movie trope. And this scene, everybody laughed. Everybody loves it. It was in the trailer.
Right?
I
It's like
find
everywhere.
this scene beyond cringe.
Me too.
So unfunny, so corny.
I like this one.
And then this. Okay, whatever. Awful. Hated it. Oh, there was one guy in the theater who kept going, ah! The whole time.
And it wasn't you.
He's a legend. No, it wasn't me. There was a bunch of Audi ads that were stupid because, like, I don't know why all the
Yeah.
Avengers are zipping around in, like, freshly polished, perfect Audis.
With like really nice rims.
Yeah, they like pull up like a car commercial, like, "Rum, rum, rum," and then the lights hit there's like a flare, you know what I mean? And the camera and the Audi is like artificially polished, and you see the logo perfectly. And they all get out of the Audi, and it's like a car, it's like a literal car commercial. It's not a product placement. Like, oh, they're driving. Oh, they're in Audi. No, it's a car commercial. Like, you know, the Audi executives like had perfect control over this, and they're like, no, we got to reshoot this. The car's got to be in frame for 3
Can you
seconds.
imagine how much money they coughed up for that too?
Bro, I hope it was a fucking ass load.
Fucking
And there was the same with Axe body deodorant.
Oh my God! What they go? There was this one scene that really pissed me off, where Thor's like, there's a scene where Thor's like, someone asked him, Did you use Axe body spray?"
Oh,
And
was
he's
it
like,
Captain America?
Somebody, one of the
Somebody.
heroes.
No, it was Iron Man,
Iron Man. Yes.
which seems kind of out of character for him. I feel like Iron Man wouldn't use it.
Axe body.
Why-
Did you use Axe body spray?
It's so weird to bring a company like that into this world. Like, why even go there? How much did Axe pay them?
Yeah.
Certainly, it was a product placement ad though, and it was just like such an eye roll. It's like, bro, this movie's gonna make so much money. There's no way that Axe body spray paid you enough that this is immortalized. Axe body spray is now immortalized in this film.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It takes you out of the moment. To me, it was just like, wait.
Axe body spray, and it had no plot relevance. It had nothing. It was just like, oh, did you use Axe body spray? Yes, I was stinking. That's the whole scene. And now Axe body spray is immortalized because they paid him like $1 million. How much did they pay? I mean, seriously, how much did they pay? I don't know. And then Fortnite is actually in it. Like Thor is playing Fortnite, and I was like, oh my God, Fortnite is in every motherfucking thing now. Crazy.
Stuff like that just dates it too, you know, when everybody's over Fortnite and it's just, you know, totally passe in a couple years.
So stupid.
It'll be like, ugh.
Such a bad call. Oh, you wrote this one, Hila. There's beer in the ship.
Because, okay, they spent all this time trying to convince Thor to join them. And he was like, I'm over it. I'm not going with you.
Yeah.
And he's now in this, like, he gained weight and he's drinking and he's playing video games.
Yeah.
And then they, one of the characters had this so predictable line, there's beer in the ship. And then Thor's
Cut
response.
to him in the ship. He's on board.
Thor's response was like, what kind?
Yeah.
And then you know that it's going with them. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's just these lines, and the people like it, so I don't know what to say. But Thor, there's weird plot holes. Like Thor goes back to his previous timeline, runs into his mom, and then before because his hammer was destroyed in one of the previous ones, he calls the hammer in a parallel universe and then bounces. So presumably he stole the hammer from himself, and now in that universe, that Thor no longer has a hammer.
That one they address.
How did they address
did?
that?
At the end, when Captain America goes to bring all of the gems back,
Oh, he brought the hammer
he
with
brings
him.
the hammer. So I think it's implied he returns it, like he returns the gem.
Okay.
So there you have
You know,
it.
they were pretty consistent
Okay.
with the time travel stuff. The part that I think is a plot, I don't want to say 100% because some Marvel nerd's going to be like, no, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Here's why it
Yeah.
makes sense. But Captain America being there as an old man at the end, isn't that a giant plot hole? That means, because like the whole thing was that when they go back, it creates a
Right.
parallel universe. And so he goes back at the end to live out the rest of his life with his one true love, and then lives his whole rest of his life up until that
Yeah.
point. Doesn't that mean, I guess there was always two Captain America, like he was in hiding the whole time?
Yeah, what does
And
that
like nobody
mean?
ever recognized him because he's like a very famous person.
Yeah, I guess they were coexisting
So
the
there
whole time.
could be two of them?
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's-
the
and
same
then
happened
also
with the
it-
daughter of.
I'm vague, but yeah, in one of the previous Captain America movies, didn't he like make out or have sex with the daughter of that woman?
Fuck yeah.
But
I'm into that.
but now they got married, so like, did he bang his daughter? Is that the implication?
Wait,
it opens
what?
up some weird things.
I have
Yeah,
no idea.
in one, I forget which Captain America it was, but in one of them, there's a character she's the daughter of what's her name? Peggy? Is that the? I forget. See, this is why somebody's gonna be like, no,
that
you
is
know what I could talk
time
about.
travel's tough, you know.
But yeah, but that was what bothered me about it, because like for the most part they followed their own rules pretty consistently right up to the end, and then when he shows up there, I'm like, that kind of blows all of it.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Because presumably when he goes back, he creates a parallel timeline. But then they wouldn't be there if he did.
Right, because the whole thing they kept emphasizing, you can't change the present by changing the past. It'll just create like a different alternate universe. And so the fact that he's there at the end means that he was always there, and that just kind of to me kind of breaks the logic of the whole thing. I don't know. It doesn't ruin the movie or anything, but I was thinking about it when I was driving home, and I was just like, that kind of doesn't sit right with me that he was there.
Right. I liked the idea of it. I thought it was cool, but I see what you're saying. And it's almost like they just needed to write his character out real fast.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
And fix everything conveniently, too. They fix all the plot holes and then create the biggest one. And then they're like, well, Captain
right
by
at the end, yeah.
Also, was that black guy, how is he going to become Captain America? Is he super strong like Captain? Thought he was just like
I think
some
he's
dude
just
with
a regular
suit.
dude. He's got a suit.
So what the hell is he going to do with that shield?
Maybe he'll get powered up by somebody. I don't know. We'll find out in Captain America 4, which I'm sure is coming since that seemed to be the setup.
Captain America 4. Now he's black.
What?
That's the title.
Sam. Sam is his name, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what his superhero name is, though. And I've seen like all of these movies.
Isn't he the guy? Doesn't he have wings and shit? He's not even anything
Falcon,
like Captain.
Falcon.
Yeah.
Ian had it. All right, so Falcon.
So how the hell is he going to be Captain America?
He doesn't need super strength because he's got a badass suit, I guess.
And then, but they set it up too, like they set it up like he always wanted the shield too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what? Because
he's like,
it to
thank
his best
you,
friend, the other guy, Bucky.
Thank you. Yeah. What? Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
It's
you just
funny.
put your hat on. We're in spoiler territory still.
Oh.
You're blowing it.
Well, anyway, we're done. We're done now.
All right, we're done. We're done.
So overall, the movie was
was
fun.
definitely a fun watch. Definitely.
I recommend anybody to watch it.
Yeah.
Fans of Marvel are sure to enjoy every second of it.
Yeah.
And people who are not even fans of Marvel who watch the first movie are going to enjoy it. It's a cinematic feat. It really is.
Yeah, it's good to say all that because it sounds like we're nitpicking it a lot.
I am.
and
I
we
totally-
We are
but,
nitpicking.
I totally
Go see
nitpicked.
it. It's for sure a good movie.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, take your hat back off real quick because I got to say something.
Oh shit.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert again. Dude, the scene where fucking Captain America got the hammer, that was hype as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Super fucking cool. And
I agree.
Despite all the other flaws, the moments like that, it definitely makes it worth seeing.
Well, isn't it? I know there's like a big. It's lore that Captain America was the only one that got to use.
Well, and they set it
camera,
up
right?
in a previous movie. He like almost
moved
did
it.
at one time. Yeah. So yeah, it was well supported. It made sense, and it was very cathartic
I
to
enjoyed
see happen. It
that
was
part
cool.
even without following the whole lore.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that was great. I thought it was great. Fantastic.
Especially since he kind of got shafted in the last movie. He was like barely in.
I can hear your vaping, Dan. All right, hats on.
All right.
So overall, do I have to wrap it up again?
No, we got it.
I don't know.
We're good. Anybody that didn't want spoilers really should have just bailed as soon as we started
Right.
talking.
So
about it.
in short, it's great for anyone. Anyone should go watch it. Fans of Marvel are going to freaking love it. People who are not fans of Marvel are going to still enjoy it. Yeah, like you said, it sounds like we're nitpicking, but I mean, we are nitpicking. I gave it an 8, so I mean,
Right, yeah.
it wasn't a 10, but it was an 8. A good film. Everyone should watch it. Everyone is going to watch it anyway. So I love
to make
that.
$3 billion in the box office.
Yeah, I think it's going to do it. The hype is crazy.
It's insane.
I also think that I love Thanos as a character too, and the actor he played. I mean, Thanos is just one of the best villains ever. Great actor, great execution. He looks great on screen.
Yeah.
It's just an awesome character. Very very satisfying. I think that everyone's going to enjoy this.